Remember those long childhood summers when it just felt like they went on forever and everything was magical? You could go to like your nearby park and it felt like it was an enormous forest and you just hide behind a tree and you could imagine a dinosaur there. Paleo Pines is that.
Paleo Pines is a dinosaur meets farming sim. So it's a little bit Animal Crossing, it's a little bit Stardew Valley, and it's a little bit Pokemon. Basically, collect as many friends as you like and build up your farm as much as you like, meet the rest of the members of the community.
Something that we kept saying very early on, it was going to be a game that was based on survival of the kindest. So it's very wholesome, very warm, and very relaxing.
There's no worries about money, there's no worries about your crops dying, there's no worries about bad guys showing up at the place, and none of the dinosaurs eat you, which is a very good thing.
It really is about that fantasy of returning to those years when everything was wholesome and simple and lovely. One day there's a knock on the door and you open it and there's an egg there, and out hatches a baby Parasaurolophus. You name her Lucky, and she at first fits in your house and everything's fine, but as she grows up, she gets bigger and doesn't fit anymore. So you decide to move to a place called Paleo Pines, where there is plenty of stuff for all kinds of dinosaurs.
So you arrive on the ranch on this cute little dinosaur. She is your steady state to begin with.
We have set it up so that it's your first day in a new place on a new island. The ranch is in a bit of disrepair. You have come with your one trusty dinosaur steed. And from there, you meet member after member of the community who introduces you to each of the different gameplay elements.
So here we are on the ranch. When you start the day, you always start it from the same location, by your house. So the idea is you've slept, you wake up, and then you see all your adorable dinosaurs. You might want to check on the trough and see if there's enough food in the trough to feed them. You might want to have a look at the crops. Maybe some crops have grown. Maybe you want to harvest some. Maybe you need to water them. And there's just a whole lot of stuff that you can do on the ranch. Here we see the protagonist mounting a dinosaur and is about to use a skill. There we go, smashing those rocks. So this is a Styracosaurus, and they have the special skill of smashing. Every dinosaur in the game has their own set of skills. They have two that are specific to them, although there are multiple dinosaurs who can do smashing. There are multiple dinosaurs who can do, let's say, watering of plants, or in the case of the Styracosaurus, tilling of your soil to help you with farming. The combination of those skills really depend on the kind of dinosaur that it is. The speediest dinosaurs get sprinting, for example. What you see there is your dinosaur leveling up. So the more that you use dino skills, the more that you ride them, the more that you interact with them, the higher their levels are. And when they level up, the amount of stamina that they have also increases.
Yeah, one thing that was always really important to this game is that these aren't your work animals, they aren't your slaves. All of our words have to do with befriending and gaining trust. The dinosaurs, the expectation is that the more time you spend with them, the better you feed them, the more you care for their needs, the more they trust you and the more that they want to give back. If you do a bad job, you may wake up one morning and they won't be around anymore.
We felt that they were your friends, as opposed to mindless beings that serve you. And so if you don't take care of them properly, they will leave you. They're also free to leave the pens. So sometimes you might see a dinosaur, wandering about or doing something else. If you ride them to then do some farming and then dismount them, they're completely fine, and they will eventually find their pen if they want to. So here we are mounting a T-Rex, and it looks like we're going to do some watering.
The human is able to do farming by themselves, but the real fun and adventure comes in when the dinosaurs start helping you out. As you can see, this T-Rex can water, a dozen patches at once, whereas you might only have a small to medium-sized watering can. They're doing it yourself. You break a sweat. Doing it with a dinosaur is fast, fun, adds another element of joy, and of course, still builds the dinosaur's trust.
As you discover each new region of this land, you get to meet a bunch of NPCs that all have their own unique quests and storylines, and that all have their own intertwining relationships.
So we've just left the ranch, and we've arrived in Viridian Valley. Kevin, do you want to tell us a little bit about the place?
Oh, yeah, we have a few different areas to explore. Your ranch is located inside the valley. In the valley, green, rolling hills, always something over the horizon. There's a lot of work has gone into making it curious. I think Nina said it best earlier, talking about the experience, the childlike whimsy, going to your local park, hiding behind a tree. We wanted the feeling all the way through this of there might be something around the next corner. Here we're into Pebble Plaza. Over to you, Nina.
So we're chatting with Colin, who is the kind of the local shop that you get all your basics from, and you can sell your produce to. So here we can see what we've got in our inventory, what we can sell to Colin. And Colin won't buy everything that you've got, only specific things that are relevant to Colin's shop. But amongst other things, you can buy herbivore food and carnivore food from Colin. So he's pretty important to taking care of your dinos. And there's Marlowe. Kevin, do you want to tell us a little more about Marlowe?
Marlowe's our woodsman. He takes care of the trees. He's a deep voice, friendly fella. Not that anybody's got a voice, but that's how I picture him when I'm writing him. Yeah, he doesn't say much, but when he does speak, he's worth listening to.
And there it looks like we're heading to Granny.
Granny's a nice little bundle of attributes, let's call her. She's almost like a character and a half shoved into a tiny little half a character. She was a lot of fun to write because she's no nonsense, she's very busy, and she'll tell you what's what. She doesn't take any prisoners.
We just passed some gallimimuses, and you could see that they have these colorful bubbles coming out of their mouths. And that's kind of a visual representation of their friend zone and the way that they communicate. So that anybody, even if they might be deaf or have other hearing impairments, that they would still be able to play the game because they can visually register what a dino friend zone looks like.
Very early on in the game, you're introduced to the flute mechanic. Each dino has their own unique friend song, and you basically have to play that song back to them to try and start to gain that trust.
So you can see the Starkosaurus is there in the distance all communicating. And if you get close to them, also they will react to you, and they have different personalities, so they react in different ways. So it looks like the player here has just equipped the flute, so they can attempt to replicate what the dinosaurs are saying. And each time that they get it right, the dino gets a little bit closer. Success. Looks like we did it the right way. So we now enter the next stage of befriending a dino. We get the opportunity to figure out what flavors this particular dino likes. So we offer them, I can't actually see what it is. That looks like a garlic maybe. And the dino didn't really like that, so you can see the reaction to that. And if you did then attempt to tame the dino with a pop-in, you'd want to avoid the flavors that that particular produce has. But it didn't look like the player had any pop-ins at that point in time, so we might need to go and get some.
Yeah, you may have heard the word pop-in show up a few times during the conversation. Wonder, what is that? Is that a Northern Irish colloquialism or something like that? No, it's something we made up for the game. It's there's a character named Pippin who makes poppins. And not to give anything too deep away, but Pippin likes how they taste. Pippin's from another part of the land. None of the other humans quite like how poppins taste, but the dinosaurs sure do.
Certain dinosaurs will prefer certain types of poppins.
And if it's the right flavor, they basically come back and live on your ranch. And then as you build up that trust and that friendship with the dino, it unlocks new abilities with those dinos. So you'll be able to have them as a steed and bring them out into the wild. And each dinosaur also has its own unique skills that will both help you in the wild and also on your ranch.
So it looks like we've just approached Owen's house. Abigail, do you want to talk a little bit about Owen's home?
Yeah, so Owen's like your typical prim and proper, tidy, well, look, sometimes messy, like scientist. His house was really, really fun to make, and I love the little willow trees with level design. They tried to create such a serene little place. But I love this little area. You can see a little swing there. Some of the NPCs actually have their own little dinosaur as well, which is really, really cool. Not sure if we have a little sneak peek here at Owen's.
I'm not sure. The Bongo might be at the back. Let's see if we can see Bongo in a minute. No, it looks like we're going the other way.
No.
We'll leave that sneak peek.
The beauty of having a vibrant community is the first time we showed Bongo, there was something in the drawing where Bongo had crazy eyes, and Bongo took on this whole other persona of its own. Like basically the fans of the ran away with the character of Bongo and drew drawings of Bongo watching Owen sleep, and just
he's got his own emoji in our chat.
So it's amazing how much the Discord community and our Twitter community have seen what we're doing, taken such an active interest, and in some ways pushed us in different directions that it's like, okay, everybody seems to want this, and we're in agreement. Let's make it happen. So it's been great to keep that community spirit running all the way through this process.
That's all, folks. Thanks so much for entering the world of Paleo Pines.
On some big news, Paleo Pines will be released this year, which is very exciting. It will be on PC and consoles, so do keep up to date with our socials.
On socials, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But if you would like to see some more exclusive content, you can join our Discord or follow along through blogs on the Italic Pig website.
And on the back of that, don't forget Steam wishlist. Any wishlist helps us out a little bit further to have a huge launch later this year. Finally, a big thank you to the London Games Festival for featuring Paleo Pines and featuring Italic Pig. We love having this kind of exposure so everybody gets to see what we're up to, and we're really excited about it. Thanks, London Games Festival.